My name is Dominic McCants, and this is my child observation presentation for Early Childhood Care and Education 11-12 Curriculum and Assessment for the Spring 2025 semester with Professor Marilyn Thomas. My subject for this presentation will be my 3-year-old daughter, Madeline Patrick. The purpose of this presentation is to showcase the 6 key developmental areas in early childhood and highlight how each area supports the growth and learning of young children. It is intended to serve as a valuable resource for educators as they continue to support children's learning through intentional and developmentally appropriate practices. The first area of development is gross motor. Madeline is 3 years old and climbs up and down the ladder of the bunk bed that she and her sister share. Madeline grabbed the ladder with both hands. As she climbed, she alternated feet looking down at the floor. Madeline went up the ladder slowly and carefully. When she got closer to the top, she stopped moving. She said it's too high when she reached the top of the ladder. The gels shown are consistent with her abilities based on her age. Using a developmental checklist would be a great tool to assess her gross motor skills. To further support the gross motor skills and development in the classroom, a balance beam and step stool can be added to the learning centers. Adding the step stool to the dramatic play can serve many purposes. It can add a dynamic component to imaginative play. With the balance beams, you can create obstacle courses to take your learning outside. The second area of development is social and emotional. Like many 3-year-olds, she is fully capable of expressing her emotions. Madeline is very well able to express her emotions with others. Madeline climbed on the bench to take a picture. She said, "Can my sister take a picture with me?" Madeline said she was too far away from her sister and inched towards her without getting up from the bench. She put her arm behind her sister and grabbed her at the hand. She said, "I'm ready now," and smiled for the camera. Because she is 3 years old, the gels are chosen are appropriate. A child's self assessment would further assist the teacher in knowing where she is emotionally. You would be able to ask her, "How are you feeling? What do you feel?" To keep Madeline on track with emotional awareness for the classroom, I would use a feelings chart and emotional mirrors. If the child is not in a speaking mood or they are unable to speak, their communication has not been fully developed, they are able to point to the emotions that they are feeling with the feelings chart. And with the mirrors, they can see themselves to express themselves to decide which emotions they would like to persuade. As a teacher, you can initiate emotion imitation using mirrors. Point to an emotion and have them show you what it looks like or create experiences during small groups to get their peers to act out different emotions. Language is the third area of development. Madeline speaks very well for her age. She speaks in clear sentences and can express her thoughts. Madeline grabbed a book and sat on the couch. She pointed to the front cover of the book and said, "This is a cat with a hat." She flipped through the pages one by one. As she looked at the pages, Madeline pointed out familiar objects. Madeline traced her finger under the words, saying what she thought the words were based on the pictures. Madeline can be understood in her conversations with peers and adults. However, she can't read just yet, so all of her reading is mostly pretend, which correlates with the gels. Keeping anecdotal records will capture real time examples of how she communicates using pop up books and matching games will further engage the reader and ensure that the matching games will ensure the child make correlations between words and pictures. To support language development, teachers can add picture labels to shelves and point them out during playtime. Teachers can also introduce new words during interactive play. The next area of development is fine motor. Madeline does a pretty good job using fine motor skills. Madeline ripped open the plastic package with her teeth. She took out all of the pieces and put them on the floor in front of her. She held the string in one hand and grabbed the bead with the other. She held the string and bead close to her face and threaded the bead slowly. She dropped a few beads but picked them up and continued making her necklace. With this activity, she was very excited and she was determined to be focused throughout the activity because she wanted to create that princess necklace on the other side of it. The gels are consistent with her development. To assess the skill, teachers should use a running record when they are in the moment doing certain activities. The gels state that the child will demonstrate fine motor skills. From the picture, we are seeing that she is able to complete this skill. The next standard, APL 3, the child will sustain attention to a specific activity and demonstrate persistence. She was able to continuously focus on that one activity because she was excited about what the necklace would look like when she got done. The materials needed to continue the growth and development for their fine motor skills would be lacing cards and hand and finger puppets. Finger puppets and lacing cards will continue to develop the skills that they currently have. Modeling and time and repetition will help continue to build on them. Cognitive development is the fifth developmental area. Madeline enjoys a quick mind game but does not want to dwell on the same thing for very long. Madeline sat on the floor. She separated the pieces into two colored piles, one red pile and one yellow pile. She held two similar shaped pieces, one in each hand, and then put one down. The pieces she held onto didn't fit. She raised her eyebrows and she pushed it harder to make it fit. She picked up the other piece and attempted to make it fit, and it did. The gels are consistent with her development. The child will sort, seriate, classify, and create patterns. She was able to sort them into two separate piles based on the color. The child will explore, recognize, and describe spatial relationships between objects. She began to use more deliberate manipulation to fit objects together. To assess the skills, teachers should use a running record when they are in the moment doing certain activities. Puzzles and memory games are sure to enhance the cognitive development skills. Small groups are encouraging when some students aren't confident puzzle makers, and encouraging children to think out loud when using memory games should support their development. Thinking out loud for certain age groups could just be asking them questions. What do you think the next piece of that puzzle should be? What do you think that piece that you're holding in your hand, where do you think that match is? The final area of development is self help. Like most 3 year olds, Madeline believes she doesn't need help with anything. In this photo, she is brushing her teeth before school in the morning. Madeline climbed the stairs using one foot at a time. She tiptoed to get her toothbrush and toothpaste. She tried putting toothpaste on her toothbrush, but the toothpaste kept sliding off the toothbrush. She sighed really big and asked for help. Madeline was able to brush her teeth independently. She rinsed her mouth, put her toothbrush back, and left the bathroom. She can do most things by herself, but she does ask for help with some tasks. The gels reflects this. The child will practice healthy, safe habits. Yes, she does because she is able to brush her teeth as you saw in the photo. Attends to personal health needs and self-care needs independently. The child will develop relationships and social skills with adults. Even though she doesn't particularly like to ask for help, she does ask for help when it's necessary. A parent questionnaire will be useful in this because you can ask the parents how independent their child is at home. That's a good way to assess self-help. Dress up clothes and child size home materials will support and build self help materials. Incorporating busy books and learning centers that have different fasteners like buttons or clips, Velcro straps, allow the child to continuously practice doing things by themselves. They are great ways to contribute to their self help development. These are the references for the presentation. Thank you.